So you've done your research and you've found the property that you want to make a bid on. What do you do next? At this point, you should have a maximum dollar value that you'll bid on the property. And you've done your research, you've gone into HAR, you've found the listing values for that area, you've gone into the Harris County Appraisal District and determined what the assessed value of the property. So you've come up with a general idea of what you want to do for a maximum bid for this property. Also, you've done your drive-by inspection, and although you couldn't actually get into the property, you have some idea as to what repairs might be needed. And at this point in time, you should go to your bank or your credit union and have them issue to you cashier's checks up to the maximum amount that you intend to bid for the property. One item that you need to note as far as state law goes, at a foreclosure sale and a constable sale, these sales can only be transacted for cash, immediate cash. So you've got your value, go to the bank, get your cashier's checks. As an example, if you're going to bid $60,000 for a particular piece of property, you might want to get the bank to issue 6 cashier's checks, maybe valued at $10,000 each. These cashier's checks should be payable to you or issued to you, and it's these checks that you'll carry down to the courthouse, and if you're successful in winning the bid, they're going to be used for the purchase of the property. The foreclosure trustees and the constables in charge of the constable sales will get very upset with you if you do not have cash. When you raise your hand and when you win that bid, they want cash. They have a table, and you walk over to that table and you give them the cash that you've bid. Obviously, if you have 6 cashier's checks and you've only bid $55,000 and you don't have those denominations, what they're going to do is eventually send you back a check as change for the difference in the amount of cashier's checks that you handed over to them. Getting there is just part of your game plan. You also need to know who will be conducting the sale and where they have set up outside or inside the Harris County Family Law Center.
In the event of a defect or other problem with the sale is discovered prior to the issuance of the deed, the consideration paid will be returned.
When will the foreclosure sale on the property you're interested take place? Typically, the foreclosure sales are held beginning at 10 a.m. in the morning, and depending upon volume, number of foreclosures to be held that day, they may also happen in the afternoon after lunch, usually starting at about 1 o'clock. Trustees have a habit of selling those properties that have the oldest deeds of trust. They begin their sales with those, which would mean usually 10 a.m. in the morning. The reason why they do this is because the oldest deeds of trust usually have a combination of greatest principal reduction and greatest appreciation of property values, and they know that the buying public out there is going to be interested in those properties that have the greatest resale value. One other thing to keep in mind about the foreclosure sales: when you go down there, the trustee is not going to normally say 112 Smith Street, can I hear a bid? They're going to start the bid normally at the principal balance outstanding on the note. So keep in mind, if you're going down there thinking that you're going to buy a $200,000 house for $200, that's probably not going to happen. But anyway, do keep in mind that the way they start their sales and how you would learn when your property is going to come up for sale would be those properties with the oldest deeds of trust. Normally those will be the beginning foreclosure sales, and those will start at 10 a.m. in the morning. You've won the bid. What happens next? What happens next is you pay the trustee or constable immediately. If you fail to do so, they'll be extremely upset. The reason being is that once the bid is closed and you've won the bid, the other interested buyers in that particular property have drifted away from that location, and if the constable or trustee learns that you are not a valid buyer, meaning you do not have the cash to conclude the sale, they have to put that property back out for sale, and they want as large a crowd, as interested a crowd as they can possibly get, because of course this will create the highest bid. On that same note, speaking of the constable sales versus the trustee sales, these are a little bit different than the trustee sales. To participate in a constable sale, you have to arrive at the courthouse even earlier than you might have thought, because on a constable sale they require you to actually register for a bidding card. The bidding card looks a little bit like this. There's no cost for that bidding card, but they do require it, or else your bid will not be recognized. They will set up an area outside the Family Law Center to present your ID and also get your driver's license and other information necessary to present you with that bid card. There is no cost for the bid card, and you can use it multiple times. After you've been down there a time or two, they'll give you a bid card which is usable for the remainder of the year, so you don't have to go through that registration process each time you go down for a constable sale. So remember, the constable sales are a little bit different. You need to get there, present your ID, and register for their bidding card. And above all else, take cash for both the trustees and the constable sales and get there early. Once the sale is over, you'll eventually receive a deed to the property. But now what happens? You're the owner of the property. You'll not receive a title policy at the foreclosure or constable sale. This is not included in the sale. You're not getting a title policy. You'll have to purchase that separately. In a constable sale, the previous owner of the property, you also need to know that they have a right of redemption. Now, I believe this right of redemption will extend 1 year for those properties that are not treated as a homestead, and the right of redemption can continue for at least 2 years from date of sale if the property was declared as their homestead. If the previous owner redeems their ownership rights during the appropriate time frame, they must pay you your purchase price plus a 25% margin. I do not think they have to pay you for any cosmetic or structural improvements you might make to the property, so be careful in that area. And for any constable sale, it's definitely important to consult with an attorney and be sure of what your rights are and what the former owner rights are when it comes to redemption. If the property is occupied that you've just purchased, you're probably going to have to initiate eviction proceedings to remove the occupant. There could be title company issues, federal tax liens, recently filed bankruptcies, judgments. Those are all things that could cloud title if you were to go to a title company later after the sale and pay for a title policy. The last item, of course, is securing the property and conducting those repairs that might be needed to accommodate the purpose for which you bought the property. I hope you found this information helpful. Participating in these sales does not involve a realtor, and I wish you the best of luck. You can make money at the foreclosure sale and constable sales, but it requires a lot of research, and you will not have a real estate expert there to help you. If you're considering leasing or listing or buying either residential or commercial real estate, contact John Henry Properties. Please visit my website at johnhenryproperties.com and don't hesitate to call 281-542-9600 to discuss your next real estate transaction. With nearly 40 years in Houston area real estate, I'm John Shellington. I want to be your real estate expert. I look forward to speaking with you in the future.